I knew this day would come. I knew I would have to do this eventually. But I didn't think it was going to be this soon. Alright, so p1717. What we're going to do first is we're going to take off this wheel. We don't have to take it off, but for the ease of access, we're taking it off. Now, it looks like either my brake pads are fucking up my rotors, or my rotors just suck ass, because these are not part of this video, but I had already replaced these front pads and front rotors, and I don't know what the dealio is, but that could be just from the 5 seconds of rust, surface rust, from bringing it inside. So I hope that's not what they look like after I take it on a drive. But anyway, 21 millimeter, take all 5 off, jack up your car, and get a little jack stand. Don't do what everybody's doing on TikTok and put a bottle or something down there. That's not safe. Alright, so with the wheel off, you guys are going to find that that neutral safety switch is right in there. Okay? So for the ease of this process, we are going to take off that clip next to this clip, take off this screw. Yes, my car is ghetto, and I think those are it. I think if I take off those two and these two, this thing will just pop out in the front, but I might have to take off a little more down here. But anyway, just get room to get back there. The neutral safety switch is that guy right there. Yeah, so we're gonna need to get in there one way or another. I also replace these sway bar end links. So you can tell this is an 07 with those 200k mile problems. It's not like serious problems, but it's like they're gonna start adding up problems, you know what I mean? Okay, here's the fender liner. I took off those two, that one, and these two here. Don't take off the metal ones because they just connect those two plastics together. Then you just kind of throw it off to the side so you don't have to take off the whole thing. And here it is. So while I'm in here, I'm gonna replace a different sensor, totally unrelated, but will be easiest to do now. Where'd it go? I'm not entirely sure, but if I find it, I'll replace it, and I'll show you guys that sensor in a separate video. But we have to take off this guy here, these two guys here, and it looks like it was already replaced before because this is not OEM. But I'm trying not to fuck it up so that this doesn't, now this doesn't move, right? Because I know that going right here, you'll switch the car into neutral, parking, whatever. So I don't want to fuck that up. For right now, I'm pretty sure all I have to do is bend this guy down and loosen that guy. And all I need is 12s with a very, very large extension. There it is. So that guy down here, I'm going to replace it now that it's out of the way. It's right there, that guy. So that guy I'm going to replace now that I'm in here, which is a separate transmission switch, but I do have it, and since I'm here, I'm going to replace it. Not because I need to, but because I've already had the code P. It's already up on my channel, so it's one of the 3 that pressure switches that you got to change. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that one now too. So 12s is all I need, and something to bend that little metal guy down. So I think we got everything. So first things first is this guy's a 12 and the other one's a 10. So let's go ahead and pry this guy. I need 2 hands, but you need to basically bend it down so you can loosen that guy. After loosening that guy, I beat it with a hammer. Then you got to go ahead and loosen everything else. So first take that guy off, then take those two guys off, because otherwise I don't think you're going to reach that 10 with the shifter link cable attached to it. I can't show you me beating it with a hammer, but you basically just grab your screwdriver, stick it right underneath there, and then just start smacking away lightly. Don't put a lot of force into that. It did not take much. I try to just wiggle it around and do it, but maybe I'm just weak. So I hit it with my hammer, who is also named Purse, by the way. So yeah, hey, look, the fog light axis is right here too, if you need to change your fog lights. Bulbs, you also have to take this, and this is an airbag sensor. Oh, this one is. Not entirely sure what this one is, but this one's an airbag sensor. Crash sensor. So be careful. If you crash on this side, that sensor's right there. It'll blow up your bags. So yeah, back to it. 3 bolts, 2 10s, 1 12. So I got this adjustable wrench to just crack that loose. So you only have to crack it loose. You do see those little teeth up there? You can bend those with a screwdriver, but I'm pretty sure the moment we turn that and crack it loose, those are going to bend because those are way thinner than the other ones. Just remember, when you're putting it back together, make sure they bend back into place. I'm pretty sure that's the reason it's failing, because that little guy there is supposed to be pointing to the line. If it's not pointing to the line, I'm pretty sure it's broken, and that's why it did that. So remember, when you're doing this and putting this back together, just bend them back on. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this guy off. Then I'm gonna take the 2 10s off. The whole thing should come out. Okay, so now that it's loose, let's just take it off by hand. You're not gonna need this, but you will need to take it off to be able to get this guy off. Then he just pops out. You got a better way of getting this disconnected. So let's just disconnect it, put the new one on, and get on with our lives. So you're just kind of pushing this little clip up, and then it should unclip it from there, and then pop. Okay, I'm pretty sure it's because I'm in park that it's already in this position. So don't move it to any other position. That is where it goes. That is where the OEM one was. I think it was just a faulty sensor. So maybe when you're neutral, it'll shift up and go into that position up there. But for right now, get your new thingy here, and you're just gonna hand tighten it. You do not need, this is plastic. You're gonna break it if you use anything other than, maybe this flat side goes over here. Okay, so just hand tighten it. And then, like I said, those little feet down there at the bottom, that's gonna keep it in place. So maybe one more turn wouldn't hurt, but for right now, that's as far as I can get it. Okay, so I found the easiest way to bend them is to just kind of go in there at the bolt and just kind of press with the thingy, these guys, and that shouldn't come off anytime soon. On its own anyway. I mean, it'll probably fucking break eventually, but on its own it won't. So now we just got to put that 12 back on. Remember, it's crush washer, then bracket, then nut. Didn't come with new nuts. I already tightened the 10s. Looks like they can be positioned differently. But yeah, I think this is for multiple cars. It's got the same little gap right here. Then again, this is also aftermarket. This is not OEM. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and put that guy back on. Crush washer after the shift link cable. Bracket. I'm trying to remember how it went. It goes like this. It only has one way that it goes, so you can't really mess it up. Well, it has 2 ways it can go, but as long as one bracket is in the right position, you know, that should be fine. I personally want to bend both into place, but you can only, if you want, you can only bend one. So hand tight, then get your 12. I couldn't really get a wrench down there, so I had to use a hand one, and just kind of hand tighten. Okay, that sucked, but once it's tight, what you want to do is get those little ears, and you want to flip one of them up think I might have to turn it just a little bit more just to get that guy. Or I can probably loosen it and push this guy up to get that guy. Let's go here, whatever the case may be. But I have to get one of these ears to fold down. Up. Yeah, so one of those ears to fold down. And that sensor that I said I was going to change all the way back there, might have to skip on that for today. Just because I don't think I need it. And in the case that I do need it, it's not too hard to access. Okay, so I did the same method. This time I was able to fold the top one along with the bottom one. But the bottom one's a little less bent. But since the top one is fully bent, I don't think it matters. I just know that if I ever need to take this guy back off, it's going to be a bitch. But folding those both little ears might help elongate the life of this thing, because I don't know how the hell it broke, but it just broke. Here's the old guy. Toss him in the gutters and get on with your day. Put the wheel back on and do your homework. That way you'll have other people to do your own things for you. Yes, it's nice to have DIY, but if I could pay somebody to do this, if I wasn't broke, I'd do it, you know? I would do it.